And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma.
Morning. I'm very, very excited to be here today. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes, just hopefully so a few more of you actually come on board before I get started today. But I hope you've all been absolutely loving it sick in here. The education's been phenomenal. Secret Salon Society have done an amazing job bringing together so many coaches and everything today. So yeah, and I hope you're having a really good start to your Monday too. Hey, Lozzie. My two managers, the first people on here. That's exciting. Hey, Shez. Hey, Sarah. Cool, there's heaps of you already. This is awesome. Hello. I've got my lovely Charlie keeping an eye on things too in case I do miss any of your questions, but I absolutely love it when people interact with me. I find it a lot easier. Hey, Kim. I find it much more interesting for me rather than just talking at you guys. So any questions, anything at all, please, send them my way. Christy, looking cute as fuck. Thanks, love. In a really cute little play suit today. Thought I'd be a bit cute for you guys. So I'm super excited to be here today. I got prime viewing time, 9:30 this morning, and I'm going to be talking to you about my 10 steps of getting off the floor. So I don't know how much you guys know about me. There's a lot of you that have been following me for ages. I'm sure there's a lot of you who have no idea who I am either. I work full-time as a Salon specialized business coach in my business Summit Salon Coach. I operate from Geelong, but I have clients from all over the world. So I'm like as far as New Zealand, USA, and South Africa. We just had one come on board as well. So slowly getting out there and slowly spreading myself around, which is really, really nice. And I currently work with about 35 salons. So it's very, very, very exciting stuff. Basically, as well as that, I own 2 salons. So I actually own a barbershop and I own a hairdressing salon, and I don't work in either of them anymore. So until 2 years ago, I was in my salon. Well, it started off as full-time, and then it kind of gradually got less and less and less. And now I don't even go in and run team meetings. I have all of that done for me. I don't do anything. So that's why, this is something that I'm really, really passionate about. And I still think there's this horrendous societal belief that, and it was definitely the way that I was raised as well, is that, you have to work 1 million hours in your business to be able to be successful. You have to be there all the time. You have to be running everything. You have to be wearing all the hats, all of those things. And it's absolutely 100% not true. I'm living, breathing, walking, talking proof of that. And I know there's a lot of people in here who have done exactly the same thing as well. So, there's heaps of you. Hi. Holy shit. Hey, Barb. Hey, Nicole. Very excited. So, hey, Haley. There's a lot of non-hairdressers here too. This is exciting. So, when I was offered a position in this amazing event, I just thought this is definitely something that I think is kind of coming into a lot of people's minds at the moment, especially with Christmas looming. But it's also a lot of people just don't even know where the fuck to start or how to get off the floor. So this is what I'm going to go through with you today, 10 really easy things and 10 very key things of how to actually step out of your business and not let your business dictate your life anymore. So the first one, and it's one of my favorite ones, and it's a lot of things that hairdressers and beauty therapists and lash techs and all these small business owners absolutely fucking hate, and that is know your numbers. It is absolutely unbelievably vital that you know every single dollar and cent that comes in and out of your business. You need to know your numbers for your client spend. You need to know who in your team is productive. You need to know where every bit of income and expenses is actually going. If you don't know this, you're not going to be able to grow your profit because you have no idea what is going on. I have a bookkeeper, but I still know everything that goes on in my business. I have somebody who pays all my bills for me, but I still know where everything goes. You have to know everything that goes on in your business, and you do that by tracking those numbers. So if you're not actually utilizing your point of sale system, and if you're not actually, utilizing every little bit of everything that you've got in your business to know these sorts of things, what are you doing? If you're still using a book, horrible. There's actually so much free, amazing salon software out there that can show you these things as well. You need to be tracking everything. I know every single staff member and what they make me and where their income comes from. I know exactly how much we spend on color. We have very strict budgets of everything, and that's the reason that we can profit. And that is the reason I don't have to be in my business, because we know everything. Everything is known. A big part of this is actually pricing your services correctly. So there's back in the 80s, hairdressers were like fashion gurus. everybody looked to them. They actually charged quite well for their services. And what actually happened is through the 90s and through the 2000s, people didn't increase their prices, or salon owners didn't increase their prices to actually cope with inflation and cope with the increased cost of living and things like that. So what's happened now is our generation, the hairdressers who are still out there now and the ones who are, going into business now, we have to try and bridge that gap between where we should be priced and where we are priced. So a lot of salons will price themselves based on what's around them. There's 500 other salons in Geelong, I think, or close to. I think we're about 480 maybe, within a 20-kilometre radius of my salon. And we're absolutely on the high end because we charge properly. We charge to be able to profit. If you don't know how to do that, I've got a really good short course on it, but if you don't know how to do that, you really need to take a look at, what it's actually costing you to do everything, the time it takes, the product to use, everything. It's really, really important that you have this set up properly. Oh my gosh, I've got so many questions. Good morning, good morning. Leah, I'm off the floor 100% and we make more dollars now than we ever have. I'm exactly the same. Sheridan, numbers nerd, you're a legend. Louise, they didn't add the GST. Absolutely. That was a huge thing when GST was introduced into Australia. People didn't actually add on that 10%, which is just the most ridiculous thing in the world. So it's definitely a huge thing. So tracking your numbers, knowing all the costs. Another really common thing I hear is that people just have exorbitant stock bills. Like stock makes up, 10, 20% of their total income. And wages. Wages is a huge one too. Obviously, we can't change wages. Wages are set at a minimum. I pay all of my staff above award wage and well above award wage. And that's because we price ourselves to be able to do that. And they work for commission. So, all these things, you have to know exactly what's going where. If your wage bill is 50% of your takings, you're screwed basically. It should be down under that 35%, well and truly under it. I think ours is about 28, 29. Keep it low. So yeah, number one thing, know your numbers. If you don't know how to know your numbers, go and speak to an accountant, get a business coach, get someone who can teach you how to do these things. It's really not as hard as it looks, and it's not as daunting as what it looks either. You can do this, even if numbers is not your strength. Number 2, second point, make it rain. This is my favorite thing of all time. Better than numbers is sales. Sales is my bitch. I love sales. When I was on the floor full time, I was pretty much selling 2 products to every single client that was in my salon. And it wasn't things that they didn't need. It was things that they did need. But basically, you have to be able to get your clients spend to a maximum within your salon. Our average client spend at the moment is over $250. And that's a really, really good thing. In our barbershop, it's about $55, obviously, because it's men's cuts, it's different. But in my salon, it's over $250, and it's been there for a very, very long time. Even my apprentices, their average client spends about $180, $190. So it's pretty high. So when you want to make it rain, basically there's a few key points to this as well. I'm so sorry, I can't even read my own handwriting. You need to get your clients buying extra services, and you need to get your clients buying products. Your products are there to support the work that you do. If I went and got my laser and I wasn't using the right skin products, or if I went and got my eyebrows waxed and I wasn't, using the proper pencils and things like that, lashes, lash girls, if you're not selling products, you're crazy. I wouldn't have any lashes left if I wasn't cleansing my lashes and using the proper felt tip eyeliner and things like that. Everybody has opportunity to sell products in their salon. You need to build that habit into your clients and actually get them buying that sort of stuff. And as for extra services, I understand we have time constraints within the salon, but upgrading someone from a half head of foils to a full head, you've just added $60, $70 to your service. We love doing like creative colored toners. So, if we've got a blonde or something, we do lots of blondes in Geelong. Maybe you want to make it a bit more rose goldy. Maybe you want to make it a bit more violety. Maybe you just want to change it up a little bit. Maybe you want to do a bit of a root bleed. There's things like that you can really do that don't take that much longer, that you can actually add in, and it just instantly adds money to your bill. Sheridan, your short course on pricing is absolutely amazing. Peter, I've just had a salon move in 3 doors down. Don't worry about the salon down the road. It's none of your business. Madison, where can I find that short course? Redoing my menu and pricing now. I'll get Charlie to comment that. Charles, if you're listening, can you comment on that? Christy McKenzie, my wages were too high. It's absolutely very, very, very common. Peter, I'm being mentored by my accountant right now. That's amazing. Charlie's already commented back to you there, Mads. Love it. Hey, Amy. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Louise. Oh my God, so many of my clients are here too. This is so good. The other thing with making it rain, and it's something that people forget, and I'm pretty lucky, like we have receptionists in our salon, so they always do this, but get your clients rebooking. You have to get them rebooking. One, you're busier. Two, they're not stretching out their appointments because they can get the appointment time that they want. Three, if you actually let them stretch out their appointment time, it costs you thousands of dollars a year, like thousands. Just that extra 2 weeks on their color appointment or just that extra 3 weeks on their brows. The other thing is it actually becomes more expensive for the client because their regrowth's this much longer, or, you know, the eyebrows are wild, so it's not just a touch up anymore. It's actually like a full eyebrow wax, things like that too. Make sure your clients are rebooking, and don't take no for an answer. Just rebook them. I had literally a 96% rebooking rate when I was on the floor. My salon now sits a little bit above 80%, which is pretty high. But you know, it's a part of their appointment. You want to have a hair plan. You want to have a beauty plan. You want to have a skin plan. Build that into your clients. Get them into those habits. And the way that you do make it rain is obviously incentivizing your team. I actually have a short course on that too if you guys want info on that one. But incentivizing your team is key. I'll level with you. I wouldn't get out of bed for $22 an hour. It just wouldn't happen. And my staff are exactly the same. They're money driven. They like holidays. They like nice things. They like having cash. And who the hell doesn't like having cash? And if they're not into those things, incentivize them with a day off. Incentivize them with family time. Incentivize them with, you pay their phone bill for them. Whatever it is that makes them tick, work out what makes them tick and incentivize your team, because they will work really fucking hard for you if you do. And if you do it properly. And if you actually give them what they want. So point 2, make it rain. Make it rain. Get the most you can out of your business. Get as much cash coming in as you possibly can, because cash is king, and that's going to help you to get off the floor, because when you do, you've instantly lost your sales. They'll be moving to somebody else. So number 3 is build your dream team. Staff is a really scary thing for a lot of people. Staff scared the shit out of me for years. I had a few really bad experiences with staff and rent chairs, and they were horrible, and I just thought, I'm just going to do everything on my own, and it's just impossible. And clearly, might sound a bit stupid me saying this, but you can't step off the floor of your business if you are the business. I can't step off the floor of my coaching business because I'm the only business coach. So until I can get other coaches coming in underneath me, I can't do that. And I don't want to, because I like it anyway. But you can't step down if you're the only person in your business, or if it's just you and an apprentice. It's absolutely impossible. And when, I say stepping off the floor of your business too, you don't have to want to step off 100% completely. You might not want to be like me. I've got another business, so I didn't want to be there anymore. You might only want to cut down a day or two. You might want to cut off a Saturday. You might want to just, take half days off here and there. That's fine too. But you still need to put these steps in place to be able to facilitate that actually happening. So build your dream team. How this happens is one at a time. For me, I was on the floor about 75 hours a week, plus doing all my own bookkeeping, everything, my own stock ordering, everything. So the best thing that fit my structure for my business back then was actually hiring Charlie, who at the time became my Salon coordinator. So she was the one who got to answer the phone. She was the one who got to see out all the clients. She was the one who did all the stock. She took those tasks off me so that I could just be creative and do hair, which is what I loved doing. Amanda, you're amazing. Peter, I've just put on 2 new girls and I'm shitting myself. Don't shit yourself. Don't manifest bad things happening. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing for you. So you literally just hire them one at a time. And, there's always that question of when's the right time to get a receptionist, or when's the right time to hire a new staff, or how do I know when I need a new apprentice or a trainee, depending on whatever you're doing. For me, when I grow my team, if they're 80% booked out, it's time for me to get a new senior. That's how we work it out. So if they're 80% productive, they're booked out 80% of the time, we work that off about as long as they're booked sort of 32 hours a week, it's time to put on somebody new. We don't usually hire casuals. We usually hire part-time or full-time straight away. But we also have quite a big abundance of clients that we can fill them up very, very quickly. But hire them one at a time. Just build them. And if you want to have a hire from apprentice and then train them up and then get them busy and then hire another apprentice underneath them, if that's what works for you, that's what works for you. But hire your staff one at a time, build them, get them busy, then bring in somebody new. I also see a lot of the time that people are just like, oh, I'm just going to hire all these people and it's going to be great, and then they can't fill them up and then their wages are fucked, and then it's just this big snowball thing. I also have the same thing like you, Peter, where people won't hire people because they're too scared. You have to do it. There's always going to be staff issues come up. Staff can be bastards. Staff can also be amazing if you look after them. So, and what? Staff can actually be bastards if you look after them as well. But don't live in fear of what could happen. Just do it. Hey, Beck. Hi, Amanda. Yay, so many of you here. I love this. So yeah, number 3 is build your dream team, because you actually have to. You have to have a dream team to be able to grow your business. Your business isn't going to grow in this sort of business where it's a service business. Literally, there is a cap. One person can only do so much. One person can do a lot, but one person can only do so much. Number 4, also one of my favorite things, 2 of my favorite people on the planet, hire help. Hire managers, hire people to do the shit that you don't like doing, hire people to have your back and to help you out. When I put on managers, I don't love hiring people into that position. I actually like building my staff into that position. Often who you think is going to be an amazing manager is not. Often who you think is just going to be an average stylist turns out to be one of your best staff ever. So I always like promoting my staff upwards rather than hiring people directly into those roles. What can happen with that too is, often, hey Debbie, is often that, people are great on paper, and people are great, when they interview and stuff like that, but actually when you put them to the challenge, they can't do it. So when Charlie became my manager, and Charlie now is the GM of all of my companies. So Charlie actually works full-time in my office with me. She doesn't really go into the salons either. She's completely off the floor. Charlie does all of actually I've got it written down here. Charlie does all my office stuff, tech stuff, team management, and all my cash flow management, things like that. She helps me with my budgets, but she's literally my office full-time. So when I hired her as my coordinator, she literally just naturally grew into that role. She started taking things off me. Her role was built because she basically was like, you can go home now, like, you don't need to be here. I'm going to take this off you because I feel like it stresses you out. I'm going to do this. She literally made herself the manager basically, and that's what you need from a manager. You need somebody who's strong and someone who will help you and someone who will always have your back. My other manager, who's in my salon full-time, so she does about 8 to 10 hours a week on clients, and then she does sort of 26 to 30 hours a week off the floor. A couple of hours a week is spent training my apprentices. We have apprentice training every single week. She does all my stock takes and stock control. She does all the hiring and firing, which is something I fucking hate doing. I might seem like a very strong person, but I actually hate doing that. I think it is the worst thing ever, firing somebody or disciplining people. So I leave that to Lauren. She's tough as nails and doesn't really faze her. That's kind of how my management structure is set up. But again, Lauren was a stylist. Lauren moved over from the UK. I sponsored her to come over, and within 3 months, she was basically fully booked. She absolutely nailed it. Clients loved her. She naturally took control of everything, kind of the same as Charlie. She was like, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this, let me do this. I'll just take on these tasks. I'll just do things. I'll just manage the team. I'll handle the training. Let me sit on interviews with you, like all of those things. So those 2 girls naturally grew into that management position. And if you want to step back, or you're going to have time away from your salon, you need to have a manager there when you're not there. She's watching my video and she just did a laughy face. I'm assuming that's because I said you're a bit cutthroat. She is. I love that she's cutthroat because I'm not. I'm too nice. So yeah, have managers. You have to have managers. And so on that, it's a really, really big grey area in the industry as well of what your manager's role actually should be. It's completely different for every business. What you actually want or need your managers to do is probably completely different to what I need them to do. So what I've actually created, and it's launching on the 4th of February next year, and I'm super, super excited, is actually a manager's course. It's going to be run for 8 weeks. It's going to be something that bosses and managers can come to together, or if you've got business partners, you can bring your business partners. Whoever you want to attend that can attend that, as long as they are your managers. I don't really want just general staff in there, but it's going to run for 8 weeks. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have weekly group coaching sessions as well. And yeah, launches 4th of Feb next year, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end. But I'm super, super, super excited. So we've realized that it's a huge gap in the industry of what managers should be doing, how to train your managers, how to make sure they're doing what they need to be doing, and how to keep them accountable. So I've created a course about it, and it's going to be absolutely awesome. So point 5 and 6 kind of go hand in hand, really. If you guys have any questions too, can you please throw them my way? Kerry, we all need a Charlie and a Lauren. We do. They're amazing. I'm very, very lucky. Number 5 and 6 kind of go hand in hand. And that is, you really have to have flawless procedures and processes in your salon. The manager's role is then to obviously make sure that those procedures and processes are being followed. But the reason there's 2 parts to it is, The first one is you have to have really, really great customer service procedures and processes. You have to have a customer service strategy, and you really have to have a customer service goal. What is it that you actually want? Like I said, there's 500 salons just in Geelong, almost 500 salons just in Geelong. There's new ones popping up all the time. I've got like 12 in my street, literally 12. So clients can go anywhere to get their hair done. They can go anywhere to get an eyebrow wax. They can go anywhere to get laser. They can go anywhere to get their lashes done. They want an experience. What they're buying from you is an experience. So you need to be building a customer service experience for your clients. That's the point of difference. Reality is most hairdressers are pretty good hairdressers. Most beauty therapists kind of know what they're doing. There's a few shit ones, that's fine. But what's stopping them from going to the place that's a little bit cheaper? If they get a shitty customer service experience with you, well, then they're just going to go somewhere else. So that's one thing that you really, really need to build into your salon is a really great customer service experience. Ooh, lots of new comments. How do you find the pay rate for a salon manager? Is that a great area? Like, are they under retail or hair and beauty award? Beck, managers come under the hair and beauty award if your main actually know this because I researched this recently, but if you are mainly hair and beauty, so Charlie's in my office, so actually she comes under the clerk's award, but if you're in a salon and your main thing is hair and beauty, they always fall under the hair and beauty award. I believe the manager's pay rate is only 5% higher than minimum wage, so it's not very good. It's not enough. My managers get 30 something an hour. I can't remember, but plus phones and things like that too. All the things that they need to be looked after, new computers, whatever. Oh my God, hi. Hey, Summer. Hey, Shem. Hey, Sarah. Cool. So with your customer service procedure, your customer service goal, obviously ours is we have 10 points in our salon, but I'll tell you in a couple of my favorite ones. One is that they actually can have the hair between their appointments as well. That happens with retail. That happens with educating the client on how to style their hair. And it means that when they come back to us, their hair's easy to manage. They've been using good products. They've been using good tools. Their hair looks beautiful in between as well, because we all know that by that 6-week point, you got the regrowth coming through. It's a little bit, hey, how you going? So, and the other thing is that they are actually coming back every 4 to 6 weeks. So that is part of the customer service experience. The other thing is we have real coffee, we have receptionists, we have consistency of the same stylist, and actually we have exactly the same customer service procedure the whole way through, same consultation, same basin process, same everything. That has to happen. You have to be able to trust that if your client goes and sees somebody else, they're literally going to have the same experience from start to finish that they would have with you or with any other stylist in your salon or therapist, whatever your business is. Any business needs this. Customer service strategy is like key. And that's why we have such a high rebooking rate. And that's why we have so many stylists on board. It's really, 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 really important. They just want consistency, and you need consistency as well. So the other part of the, flawless procedures, so point 6 is you have to have a feedback process, especially if you're not going to be in your salon as much. That's all right, Becky. That's all right. Watch back. I believe all of the training is going to stay in here as well, which is exciting. So obviously we see, I think it's close to like 200 and something clients a week. Like we see a lot, right? And in our barbershop, I think it's like 85, something like that every week. So we have a lot of clients come through. That can be quite overwhelming. So part of Lauren's job as my salon manager and on the floor salon manager is that she actually follows up with clients. Every new client will get a phone call a week later following up. Same as if we have somebody who has like a really big change, like someone who's going from blonde to brown or something like that. Even if we kind of get a feeling that maybe the client's a little bit iffy, we make sure that we give them a phone call. Sometimes clients can be a bit like, oh yeah, it's good, blah, blah, blah. And you're kind of like, I don't know. Our stylist will then let Loz know, and Loz will follow them up. With existing clients, so kind of more long-termers, we do this on their 6-month anniversary of them coming to us. So same thing. Hey, I know you've been coming to us for 6 months. We just wanted to follow up, make sure you're happy with everything. You're having any problems with the products you're using? Was there anything you can give me feedback on around your, your appointment? Because sometimes it can be the most trivial thing. Like sometimes it's like, oh, I had a really shit coffee, and it's like, oh, that's all right. Like the coffee was burnt. Something like that can be something really trivial and something really easily fixed. We actually send out surveys to our clients every now and again. And oh my God, I've just lost where I'm up to. I can barely read my own handwriting. It's bloody horrible. But yeah, basically we always follow up with our clients to make sure that that's happening. Naturally, everyone gets 1-star reviews. And I mean, still to this day, it cuts a hole in my soul when I get a 1-star review. Absolutely breaks my heart. But one thing that we've actually learnt to do, and that is when we do get that sort of experience, is we can usually turn that 1-star review right back around. Do what you can to keep your customers happy and your clients happy, because they're the ones that are going to give you the business. So have really, really, really good feedback procedures in place, and even a procedure around what you actually do when you get that feedback. We always have meetings about it. We have morning huddles, obviously, if it was one specific stylist or the receptionist or whoever that fucked up the appointment, for lack of a better term, we'd always approach that with them, and we try and build a new process to deal with that and prevent that from happening in the future. So we've had ones that was like, a client was accidentally overcharged. It was literally just, instead of typing 1, they typed 3, so they were charged 3 times for Olaplex. Just simple things like that. Put those processes in place. You have to be able to manage your feedback, positive and negative. We get negative feedback. I'm okay with negative feedback because it gives me something to actually take forward to my team and to try and do something new with it. But have a process in place to be able to manage that. And especially if you're not there, your managers need to be there managing all of those processes that contribute to that customer service experience. That's part of their role. Hey there, Tracy. Hey, Ariane. Good to see you, lovely. And we actually have what we call a Salon Bible too here at Summit, which we actually sell, which is our systems manual. It's really, really good. Anytime we update it, you guys get all the free updates and things like that as well. But if you're interested in that, holla, we can send you out some info about that as well. Point 7 is like pretty captain obvious, I think, but you basically just start dropping days, whether it's a half day, whether it's a Saturday, whatever you want to do. The first day that I dropped was a Tuesday. That's because Tuesday was my quietest day, and also I kind of wanted a 3-day weekend every week. So just drop it one by one. If you want to come off the floor completely, set a date and just do it. But I find the best way to do this is just cut back a day, cut back a day, cut back another day, cut back another day. Start with just a morning or afternoon if that's all you can do. Like I said before to you, don't have to step off the floor of your business completely. You might just be over the 70-hour weeks like I was. I kind of dropped back my Tuesday, then I dropped Friday, and then I dropped sort of Wednesday and Thursday morning, so I just worked through into the evening, and then I decided that was it for me. I was done. I was off the floor completely. And the thing with dropping back your days is you do have to delegate your clients, and there's, a bit of confusion about how to actually do this. Oh, I've missed you being there for my live chats too, Ariane. Delegating clients is hard. A lot of my clients are really happy for me and stoked that I was stepping off the floor, and a lot of them are like, oh my God, congratulations, that's so exciting. Like, what a great place to be in your business. I also had a lot of them that fucking hated me for stepping off the floor, and they're like, well, what am I going to do? Well, I've got 12 other staff, so you can probably see one of them. But the right way to cut back your clients is always, I like to just introduce them to the stylists that I think will be best suited for them. All of my stylists were amazing. I chose them kind of based on personality and who I thought they would get along with the best, or if one of my stylists had a specialty, that's what it was. Obviously, I would move them over to them. I was pretty lucky at that time in my business. My manager, Lauren, and another staff member I had at the time, Haley, did have some gaps where they could really take on most of my clients from me, and I had a newbie as well, so it was really, really easy to kind of move them over. The other thing that I think is the right thing to do, especially if you've had somebody really long term, is to give them notice about it. Don't just come in one day and be like, hey, I'm not doing your hair next time. Let them know, pre-frame them, get them prepared for it. So I gave mine a couple of appointments notice. It was like, cool, so just a reminder that, when we get to December, I'm actually not going to be doing your hair anymore. You're going to be in with blah, blah. Cara would come over and have a chat to them and get to know them and, just talk to them throughout their experience a little bit so they could get to know her as well. But delegating your clients is a really, really good one. If you're somebody who wants to come off the floor, my manager, Loz, has literally just been through this. If you're somebody who wants to just come off the floor but actually still be in the salon, so maybe you want to do a coordination role or something like that, it's always nice to let people know that, you will be following up with them and you are still going to be there. Michelle, I think Charlie's onto you there. Peter, I've been off the floor for 6 months now, but I need to make sure my clients still see my face, as some of them just think I'm sitting at home doing nothing. I sometimes sit at home and do nothing if I don't want to go into work. I pop into the salon every now and again. It's quite fun, actually. I walk in and all my staff scatter and try and look busy. But you don't have to justify what you want to do with your time off. If you want time off, you have time off. You work very fucking hard, and we all know, all the business owners in here know that absolutely business is so much harder than it looks on paper. And, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. So even though I don't do much, I still do things. I still help plan out the Christmas marketing and, occasionally go and pop in and do a meeting. I'm working a couple of days in the lead up to Christmas. I love the vibe at Christmas time. So I'm going to go work a couple of nights and Saturdays in there and just, manage them and make sure that they're doing what they're meant to be doing, because it obviously gets a bit psycho. So, but I love that sort of stuff. But don't feel like you have to justify to your clients or your staff or anyone why you're not going to be there. Actually, that's in my next point. So point 8, stick to your guns. This is really, really, really hard for people to do when we're all workaholics. We're all absolute control freaks. Everybody who is a business owner is naturally somewhat controlling. I found it really hard to let go of a lot of these things because for 10 years it had been just me managing my business, doing everything. You know, if someone's sick, if a staff member's sick, let your other staff handle it. You don't have to step back on the floor if that happens. If somebody leaves, same thing. So there's been times where it's been like, shit, I don't know where I'm going to fit all these clients, but you just make it happen. It's really important that you're not going backwards. You're actually keeping or moving forwards. If you want to go in there and rearrange the clients and call them yourself, that's totally fine. But you do not need to step back on the floor in those sorts of situations. They will make it work. You have to trust your staff that they will make it work. And they have to make it work. They don't know what you've got going on that day. There was a couple of times where I nearly went in where, yeah, like I said, somebody was sick. I have 3 people who work on a Tuesday, and one Tuesday, all 3 of my Tuesday people were sick. And I was like, oh my God, shoot me in the face. This is going to be the worst day ever. Called in 2 of my staff, made it happen, rearranged everybody else. That's what happens. They need to learn to cope without you being there all the time, if that's what you want, if you don't want to be there all the time. A really, really big thing here is don't let your staff and client dictate your decisions, how you spend your time, what you actually do. It's not up to them. It's up to you. Business ownership is fucking hard work. It is rough. And I know for a fact, I barely took a holiday for 6 years. Like maybe I had a week in Bali once every 2 years or something, but I barely had a break. You actually need a break. If your energy is not at 100% all the time, you have nothing left for everybody else. You have to stop yourself from having burnout. I actually wrote a really big article about this in Hair Biz magazine just this month. So if you guys aren't subscribed to that magazine, please get it. I wrote this about, taking time off for yourself and actually refreshing and recharging your batteries because you really, really, really need to. It is so vital. A lot of you don't know this, but I'll talk about it anyway. I wasn't going to, but here we go. I actually separated from my husband this year, and it was my decision, and I basically let myself get so burnt out. I don't think I came to work for 6 weeks. I literally was at my house in my pajamas. I wasn't taking time out. I was stressed all the time. And I'm still very good friends with my ex-husband, but I let my energy get down here, and then I didn't have anything left for my staff, and I actually had 2 staff leave, and it broke my heart. I invested so much into these 2 staff, but it still wasn't good enough, and that was my fault because I didn't give myself permission to have time off, to recharge, to actually take time for me, and I didn't recharge my batteries. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, I wasn't doing what I needed to be doing. So it is vital that you actually take time off and you refresh your energy and you do something that makes you happy. You have to do this. It's part of being a salon owner. And do not let your clients and your staff dictate what hours you work, how often you're in your business, anything. That is up to you. And don't let your family do it either. I was raised in a family where my dad still to this day, he's 56 years old, still works 70 hours a week. He lives to work at 5 a.m., right? And he's not home until, 6, 7 o'clock at night because he was raised to believe, and it's how I was raised, to believe that, you have to work 1 million hours a week to be successful. You have to work 1 million hours a week to have your business running smoothly. Nobody can do what you do. Let me tell you, people can do what you do. They don't do it as well as you, but if you've got managers in place and you've got good ones and you've got great staff, they can do what you do and they can help you to do what you want to do. So, make sure that you're filling your own energy up, because if you don't have enough energy for yourself, you're not going to have any for your staff. You're not going to have any for your family. You're not going to have any for anything else that you want to do. And it's really, really hard to find that work-life balance. It's so hard. Once you get it, it's amazing. Hater. Staff think that I'm there to step back in when someone is sick. I don't. Good girl. Don't. Be strong with it. Stick to your guns. It's so, 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 so hard. Guys, if there's any questions or anything too, please feel free to actually post them in there. I will respond to comments because I'm running way ahead of time. I've still got 25 minutes and I've got 2 points to go. So if there's anything in there, please ask away. Got really passionate then, didn't I? Talking about have time off. Basically that rolls in perfectly to point number 9. Point number 9 is give yourself permission. You are not God. You are not Superman. Stop pretending that you are. You don't have to wear all the hats. The first few years of business are always really, really tough, but once you get through that, it's time to actually give back to yourself. You're all absolutely amazing, and you really just need to relinquish that control. And again, such a hard thing to do. I'm an absolute control freak. I like knowing everything about everything. I like having control of every aspect of my business. Relinquishing control was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like I said to you, it was just me for years, and Renter Chairs and a couple of staff that came and went, no one important. And then all of a sudden I have a team, and these people start taking some of these tasks off me. It was bloody hard work, but it was awesome. And once I let it happen, everything started flowing, everything started growing. Exactly like you said before, Leah, my salon's actually the same. It's the most profitable it's ever been, ever. And it keeps growing, which is amazing. So relinquish control of things. You don't have to control everything, and you have to trust your team, and you have to trust the people that you have in place to actually do these things for you. Stop fucking justifying. Hairdressers and bosses, we always have this thing about we have to justify why we're doing something. We have to justify why we're going on a holiday, why we bought a new car. You know, it's all of these things. And again, it's a societal thing, but we need to stop justifying our reasons for doing something. If you want to take a day off and go and lie on the couch and watch movies all day, do that. That's okay. You're allowed. You're human. You need downtime, and you can do whatever the hell you want to do with your time. Time is the only thing you will never get back. You will never get time back. So you need to use your time wisely and spend it doing things that you actually like doing. Rach, my staff constantly blame new clients for not coming back because of pricing. You need to empower your staff to believe they're worth what you're charging. My staff have the best training. I spend a fortune on their training. We invest actually 3% of what we make pretty much into trading. And apart from that, I only hire great people. So I empower them to believe that they're worth that pricing. And do they quote before? They should always quote before if they're conscious of pricing, but it's how they sell themselves too. Chrissy, you're awesome. This is so inspiring and need to be reminded of so much you're saying. Thank you. Oh, thanks, babe. Sometimes we all need reminding. That's why I still have mentors. That's another thing. I still have business coaches as well. They're just not Salon specific anymore. You need to enjoy your time. If you are not loving what you're doing, don't do it anymore. If you had asked me 3 years ago, I would have told you that I'd still be full-time in my salon. I literally woke up one day and went, I hate this. I actually hate my job. I hate hairdressing. I don't want to pick up scissors ever again. And I pretty much never have. I don't even do my family's hair. Didn't even cut my ex-husband's hair. I always used to send him into the salon to have somebody else do it. So if you don't like what you're doing, or you want to spend your time doing something else, do that. You need to enjoy your time. You only get one life. And again, just give yourself permission to actually do whatever you want to do. Give yourself permission to run your business differently. My business structure is set up totally different to a lot of people. We have receptionists, we have managers. 2 of my managers are pretty much not on the floor. That's pretty unheard of in a lot of businesses as well. You do need to give your managers time to do the things that they need to do. Give yourself permission to do what you want to do and live your life the way that you want to live it. You do not have to buy into this societal doctrine that you're meant to live a certain way. I was also raised in a very, very, very traditional family where a woman absolutely has her role. My nana's had their role, my mum has her role, all those things. And not to say my mum's not amazing, she doesn't help my dad with his business, but literally I was raised that a woman has her role and that is it. And I have completely broken that stereotype. And as soon as I did, my life got so much better in every way. I earn a shit ton more than my ex-husband did. I work 3 days a week now. Like, just do whatever you want to do. Make it happen for yourself. And don't buy into the stupid doctrines that you have to live a certain way or do a certain thing or your business has to be run a certain way or, salons can only run this way because this is how they've always been run. It's absolutely not like that at all. Hello from Ireland. Nice to see you here. Do what you want. Do whatever the fuck you want. Stick your finger up at it. I don't need to tell you how to live your life. Point 10. Oh, fuck, I've still got 20 minutes to go, so hopefully I can blab on for the next 20 minutes. Have a why. Why do you want to come off the floor? Why do you want your business to do this? Have a big picture, a big goal. My why of why I wanted to come off the floor was, one, I wanted to help other salons. That's what I do now. That was always a huge goal for me. Obviously, I am the type of person that pushes against a lot of societal beliefs and doctrines and weird things. So I wanted to empower people to actually be able to do that. That was a big part of my why. My other why is because I want to travel all the time. I want to go on holidays like 4 times a year. So that's why I wanted to build my businesses to be like this, to be able to provide me those things. I always try and sneak in a little business trip overseas so that I can just disappear somewhere. Have a why or have a big goal, and no goal is ever too big. Do whatever you want to do with your goals. Mine was that I wanted to, go and travel overseas for 6 months, and I think I'm going to do that next year. I also wanted to go overseas every single year, and now I go like 2, 3, 4 times a year. Traveled for 2 months this year. It's whatever you want to do. But my big thing was absolutely wanting to help people, and that's actually what I do every day. So have a reason and have a big goal. And you don't have to share that reason with anybody. That's completely your thing of what you want to do. But having a why you want to get off the floor, like I said, want to help people. Couldn't do that when I was working 60 hours a week, could I? Always just do whatever you want. Really, really do whatever you want. Chrissy, me too. Amazing. I know there's so many great coaches and everything in here, and I'm sure they have exactly the same thing as me. You want to help people. I want to change what people think about hairdressers. You know, there's that thing of, oh yeah, she's just a hairdresser. I had it the other day, actually. A plumber really insulted me. He's like, well, plumbing labor's $145 an hour. I said, so's hairdressing, you dickhead. We have the same qualification. I'm a tradesperson too. Ours is actually $154 an hour for labor because that's what we have to charge. Are you that daft? Like, you still think hairdressers are like the butt of society down here? No, thank you. So, ooh, Nicole, my why is because after 25 years, my body doesn't cope full time. Fair enough, girlfriend. Christy, tell us about the manager's course. Got it right here. I'm very excited. So, I'm actually launching it. We're launching it at the moment. Charlie's literally building the landing pages for it at the moment. So, it's going to be from the 4th of February next year. It's going to run for 8 weeks. So on the Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, we're going to be running a training session and actually be teaching you guys as well. And I'm going to give you a lot of the topics that I'm going to be teaching you guys as well. Then on the Wednesday afternoon from 2:30, we're going to be running a group coaching session. If that runs for 5 hours, it runs for 5 hours. If it runs right until midnight, that's fine too. Basically, what will happen when you're learning things, same as coaching, you'll be taking something on board. You'll have a lot of questions. You might have things come up in your business. And so we want to offer a coaching session as part of that as well. So 8 weeks for this. It's going to be absolutely incredible. It is going to be $2,200 and that entitles 2 people. So if you want to do owner manager, if you have 2 business partners, you know, whatever you want to do, 2 people are in that. There is an additional fee if you want to add more people into that. If you want to pay that up front, we're happy to do it at 10% off, so $2,000. And we do have 10-week or 5-week payment plans available if that is a bit easier for you as well. We can do credit card, bank account, or PayPal, whatever's easier for you guys as well. So what I'm actually going to do today, if for you guys, Charlie's I think posted the link in here about how to actually sign up for this. And whoever goes on and registers today, I'm actually going to be picking one of you today to win a free ticket to it. So I'm going to leave that open till midnight tonight. And it's going to be pulled at random as well. So a couple of the topics that we have in there, actually, I'm going to read them all out, like what we've come up with so far. So what your managers should be doing, so motivating the team, proactively keeping your staff accountable, handling client feedback and complaints, leadership skills, time management skills, communicating effectively, stock control, inducting new employees, hiring and firing. Like I said, this isn't something that I do. I literally walked into my salon 3 weeks ago and there was a new stylist working. I didn't even know her name. So that's fun. But it's really, really good when your managers can take on some of this stuff for you as well. Respecting professional and personal relationships, training other staff, running the daily morning huddles, reviews, meetings, and how all that works. Discipline, hiring and firing, rostering, creating marketing ideas, managing budgets and salon financials, payroll, etc. How managers should be paid, or how you incentivize your managers, how to hire a manager, and the attitude and responsibilities of a manager as well. If there's anything else that you guys want to see in there, can you please give me the feedback? I really, really, really want to, if there's anything you guys want to learn or know or think that should be included in this, I absolutely would love to include some of that. So please let me know. We are halfway through building at the moment, so I'm very, very, very excited. So like I said, commencing 4th of February next year, we decided to do it after the Christmas craziness and kind of when things start to settle down a little bit, 2 days a week, and you can have you and one other person going to it as well. So it's going to be really, really good. Any questions about that? I'm feeling lucky. Do you believe that everyone can be a manager? Hell no, not everyone has it in them. Absolutely not. Like I said, I actually promoted, well, I didn't promote her, but must have been 2 years ago. It was before Lauren became the manager. I had this girl working for me who I thought was amazing, and I trialed her as the manager, and like she couldn't even run a team meeting because she was too nervous. Things like that. So I don't believe that everybody can be a manager. Absolutely not, no. Pam, so do you just give your staff total control? They don't have total control. They run things past me always, but I empower them to make decisions as well. Part of having a manager is I don't want to have to make all the decisions. That's them. If they decide they want to refund a client, they can do that. If they decide that if, you know, Lauren comes to me and she's like, I really don't think this staff member's working out, we'll have a chat about the reasons why that they feel that way. And then we'll make a decision around how we're going to handle that sort of thing as well. But in the end, I do have to empower my managers to make those decisions for me, because that's the idea of having managers. And that's the idea of not having to be there all the time. What personality traits are important when looking for a manager? Okay, that's really good. I'm going to write that one down. They need to be really strong. They need to have your back. We actually call it the work-wife relationship. So Charlie and I and Lauren and I obviously have the absolute work-wife relationship where I will always have her back. They will always have my back. No matter what decision's made, we have to have each other's back. But basically, they have to be really good leaders. And, you know, Charlie and Loz are completely opposite people. Like, Charlie's extroverted, Lauren's not. You know, there's different traits for both of them, but they have to be able to handle themselves. They have to be able to run meetings and things like that. They have to be really good leaders. They have to have the best interest of the business at heart. Their role is to grow my business with me. So if they don't have that in them and that's not what they want, then they're not the right person for the job either. You can't have timid people. They need to be strong people. Like I said, I love them because they're both stronger than me. So someone will come and ask me for a day off. I'm like, yeah, no worries. And Charlie's like, they're not having that day off. Are you taking on any new mentoring students? Do you have any info on this? Amy, great question. I actually have a note on this here. Last week, I actually opened up 4 new places. I've got a couple of clients graduating, so I am definitely taking on new coaching clients at the moment. I'll be closing my book again at the start of December. Obviously, it gets a bit crazy in my salon, and I'm sure in your salons as well. 100% I'll be taking on new coaching clients. I think Charlie's just sent you a link there as well. She's all over it today. And also with the Salon Bible, if you guys want info on that, just comment away too. But my coaching is going really well. I've got about, like I said, 35 clients. I've got a couple finishing up. So I don't like to make my coaching circle too big. I like to keep it, you know, manageable and small. And 35 is a really good number for me. And I think it's a really great number for them. And my coaching circle is absolutely incredible. The people I've got in there at the moment are absolutely unreal. Doing the same things that you guys want to do. So stepping down off the floor, building their teams, growing their numbers, all of those things. So I've actually had a couple of clients recently purchase 2 new salons as well. So there's heaps of cool stuff going on. And I run one-to-one coaching and group coaching as well. So I do both. I would love to take on some new clients. So if you guys are keen, is there any other questions, guys? Because I've smashed through this today. I talk really fast, especially when I'm doing a live training or something. So if there's anything you guys want to know, please fire away some questions. I'd love this. I'm going to see who's actually on here. This is awesome. And my dog's here today, so he's scratching at the door right now, trying to come in here, but I've locked him out with Charlie. Joss, I'm going to go watch your video back as well. I could not wait to have you in my life one day. Babe, it will happen. We'll work together when you're ready. But yeah, my managers are sick. I love them. Love them so much. They're absolutely awesome. And, you know, Brad Nyada, yes, it is recorded. It will be in this group. You can watch it back later. Great to see you here, Brad. I followed your salon for years and years and years since I was an apprentice. So I love your work. Who else is here? Kim Barrett. What an amazing man. I'm going to contact you about building my bots because I haven't contacted you for months. Hey, Ash. Can you do a recap of your 10 points? Actually, that's a great idea. I will do that. Caitlin, do you find it hard finding a manager who you know will stick around? I find everyone I know in hairdressing just wants to go and work for themselves. The thing, I believe, it's the industry standard for, I think career span of hair and beauty workers is something like 5 years. That's the entire career. And I think job span is something like 18 months. Like, it's not long. What I find actually, funnily enough, is my long-term staff have been with me for ages. I get the new ones that turn over. Like, I've had a couple of staff not even see out a year. It's always the new ones. So now my pages are all messed up. I'm such a mess. I like handwrite everything. I'm such a pen and paper girl. Not with my bookings and stuff, but always like messy. Messy as. So number 1 was understand your numbers so that you can actually grow your numbers. Really get to know them. If it's something you're absolutely not confident with, oh my God, Ange, hi. If it's not something you understand, seek the advice of a business coach or seek the advice of your accountant. That's what they're there for. My accountant's brilliant. I ask him dumb questions all the time. All the time. Number 2 was make it rain. Increase your money as much as you possibly can, increase your sales as much as you can, get your clients rebooking, do everything you can to create bigger business for yourself and have more cash flow coming through. Number 3, build your dream team. You have to have a team to be able to step out of your business. You can't step out of your business if you're the only person in your team. And so the key things on that was, obviously, I hire one at a time. And, once my staff are at 80% productivity or, 80% booked, that's when I look at hiring someone new. And obviously, once my apprentices sort of start stepping on the floor, that's when I start bringing in somebody new underneath them. The other thing with building your team is don't actually overlook graduate stylists either. There's a bit of a, actually, funnily, Angeli, who's watching now, I believe, was when I did the full-time course, not an apprenticeship. And she's one of the most talented hairdressers I've ever seen in my life. But a lot of people really turn their nose up at them, and we're actually about to hire one, and she's great. You just need to give them a bit of training and a bit of love, and they usually can be great, so don't overlook those people either. Number 4 was hire help, so have managers, build managers into your salon, empower them to make decisions for you, make them, they're part of their role in keeping them accountable is keeping the staff accountable for everything else that you do. You do need to give them time off the floor to actually do this stuff for you though. Like I said, my managers spend time training and doing a lot of things like that too. They also do stock control and meetings and all those things, and they can't build and create those meetings in their own time. That's not their responsibility. They need to be doing it during work time. So that it's not viable to have somebody really full-time on the floor. They need at least 10 hours, I guess, to do that sort of stuff. One of mine has 38, one of them has 28. So to be able to do all the things that I want them to do, I have them doing a lot for me though. Point 5 and 6 kind of go hand in hand. So that was obviously having flawless procedures. First one, having great customer service procedures, really consistent customer service and sales procedures in place. Number 2, having a flawless feedback process. Feedback is one of the most overlooked things in your business, and so is customer service. You have to be getting feedback from your clients. If you don't get feedback, how do you know what you're doing well? Like I said, sometimes we get the most trivial things. Like it can be super trivial. They're like, oh, like the tap water was too cold at the basin, or I didn't like the smell of the conditioner, or like really random things. And like, okay, cool, that's fine. It can be a bad coffee. It can be anything. Sometimes it can be something really, really important. Like, you know what, my foils are a bit chunky or something like that. So you need to actually be following up that feedback. And with customer service, I know that when I do have a staff member that's sick, or I do have somebody that's off, or I have someone on holidays, I can put any client with my staff and they're going to get that same process the whole way through. And that's really, really important as well, especially when you do start to delegate your clients over from your staff. 7, just start cutting back days. Decide a day that you want off, set a date, make it happen. I know that Sam Jones, who is coaching with Larissa McCalman at the moment, she literally was like, 1st of April, I'm off the floor. She made it happen. We actually had the same coming off the floor date, which was really awesome. But we both just did it. We were like, this is it. We're coming off on this date. And until then, I'd kind of cut back days and cut back days and cut back days. Anytime that I didn't have clients booked in, Charlie would block out that time so that nobody else did book in. Basically, my clients had to always book in advance or they weren't getting an appointment with me. That's just how it happened. Number 8, stick to your guns. Don't let your clients and staff dictate what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to run your business. That's not up to them. It's up to you. Don't let anyone do it. Don't let your family, your friends, society, whoever you want to listen to, the bullshit in your head. My ego's an asshole sometimes and tells me all sorts of stupid things. But don't let people dictate that to you. And if someone's sick, someone leaves, something like that, you don't have to step back on the floor. Make your staff do it. Book them out. Move the clients. Do what you need to do. Don't go backwards. Once you start this process, you have to keep moving forwards. 9, favorite one, give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to step off the floor. Give yourself permission to relinquish control. Give yourself permission not to have to justify anything to people. People are like, how do you only work 3 days a week? I'm like, you know what? I like to go to the Yuyangs every Friday and take my dog for a walk. Sometimes I like to sleep until lunchtime. Sometimes I want to watch a movie. I have a good social life. I don't have to justify it to people why I don't want to be at work all the time. Sometimes I come in here and we sit there and create something amazing like my manager's course. That's what we've been doing on Thursdays and Fridays at the moment. Just give yourself permission and stop listening to the doctrines and the societal beliefs that you have to live a certain way or do a certain thing, or, whatever. You run your business a certain way. It's actually not factual. And 10, have a why and have a big goal and have a reason to actually do this. I wanted my business to profit a shit ton of money so that I could go on holidays every year. I didn't want to be on the floor of my salon anymore, 1, because I decided I hated hairdressing one day, and 2, because I wanted to help coach people, and that's what I do now. So have all those things. Pam, I had a little stalk of your salon when I was down in Geelong a few months ago. It's so nice. Just wondered, do you think a salon should be on a busy road like yours? Funnily enough, my salon actually used to be up in a little quiet little arcade that barely got any foot traffic. And when I moved to a street frontage, I actually doubled my business in the first 3 months. So we relocated not July just gone, last year in July. And that's literally what's been allowed me to be able to build a barbershop from that as well, because my barbershop opened in June. So I didn't realize how much value walk-through traffic had. High Street's one of the most popular like strip shopping areas in Geelong. I'm very, very lucky. But yeah, I actually do really, really love street front salons. I don't think you need to. We were fully booked at my last salon. We were at capacity. We literally could not fit any more clients or staff in. I literally hired staff that had to wait until I was in the new salon because we physically couldn't fit them in the salon. So I don't think you need to, but it's definitely helped grow my business as well. Brad and Yana, where do you advertise for staff? I'm actually loving the new Facebook careers feature. Is actually really, really cool. So we've just advertised for apprentices and straight away got a heap of applications through. So when you go to do a normal post, it's like, do you want to change this into a career ad? And then you can put questions in. They have to answer questions. They submit in a resume. It's actually really, really good. Aside from that, I have used National One Recruitment. I did get a lot of overseas workers apply through that, but I found my last few just, from using them and using Facebook really. Is it Justina? I don't want to say your name wrong. Number 8 is so important. It so is. Barb, how did you get into coaching? Basically, I just used to help people all the time anyway, and people would ask me questions and ask how I do things and ask how I step off the floor and ask how I manage my staff, and it kind of just started from there. And then I reflected on, 10 years of education that I'd had, went through a lot of that stuff, revisited a lot of it, and just started writing things and just started building my coaching course. So it just kind of happened. I felt like it was just the right time, and it just kind of flowed for me. Beck, Amy Scarf, she's the best. We can discuss this in an hour when I see you. Thanks, Beck. Beck's doing amazing things as well. Well, look, I'm nearly at the end now. If you guys want any info on the manager's course, reach out to me. Like I said, tomorrow morning when I get into work, I'm going to give out a free ticket to that one. So that should be really, really good. Learning pages have been tagged in here, and I'm going to tag it in the description of my video here as well. But I'm super excited, and thank you so much to everyone who came and watched me today. Sometimes I amaze myself with how much shit I can talk, but I hope you guys have gotten some really valuable points out of today. Like I said, I'm a firm believer that you do not have to be on the floor of your business. I'm also a firm believer that quite often being on the floor of your business can really hold back the potential of your business as well. I know that when I was on the floor, I got so wrapped up in my little bubble with my client that I kind of didn't know a lot of what was going on, and I didn't have the time to actually work on building my business. So hopefully you guys got some awesome key points, and thank you so much again for coming and watching me speak today. I really, really appreciate it. I have had an absolutely great day. So have an awesome Monday, and I can't wait to watch some of the other coaches today. So take care, guys.